Hello and welcome to Our Kids, brought to you by the Jefferson County Public Schools. I'm Ben Jackey. Our students always find ways to have fun during spring break, but JCPS offers fun in the classroom as well. This month we travel to outer space with the help of the Roush Planetarium. You'll also meet a group of students who received national recognition for an app they created. Plus, we have these stories from our 5-star high school student correspondents.
Words of horror and hope. A best-selling author brings his incredible story to Ballard High School students. I'm Ballard correspondent James Scharff, and I'll have the story.
Recently here at Pleasure Ridge Park High School, a Spanish class engaged in a nonprofit organization called the Pulsera Project.
We've met our state goals the last 2 years. We've seen improvement in test scores across gap groups. JCPS is moving in the right direction, thanks in no small part to a community partner who made a long-term commitment to our kids' success. Over the last year, we've shown you how our classrooms have changed because of the $35 million GE Foundation Developing Futures grant. This month, we take you back to the very beginning to show you how JCPS and the GE Foundation built capacity for achievement.
Multiplying negative times a negative, what kind of answer do we get?
What's happening in Carrie Roby's math classroom probably wouldn't have happened about 5 years ago. In fact, it may not have happened at all.
Angie is marvelous. I love her. I never want to lose her.
Were it not for Angie Johnson, who helped develop rigorous instructional strategies.
I do whatever it takes in this building to make sure that our teachers have what they need to be effective, to make sure that our kids that we're laser focused on student learning so that our kids are on track.
So you do have to kind of sort through them a little bit, and you can see how many questions they have.
Johnson is a Goal Clarity coach, formerly known as a staff developer. Among her many duties, she leads professional learning communities to build collaboration among teachers. She helps them with lesson plans, provides resources for classroom assessment, and analyzes data, helping with the day-to-day operations that allow teachers to teach and lead each child to their potential. But that wasn't always the case.
If you walked into a classroom, 4 years ago, you might see 3 teachers teaching completely different content on the same grade level. And now when we walk in, you're probably going to see 3 very similar lessons aside from the teachers' personalities and the way they choose to present it, but you're going to see very focused instruction.
Years ago, as state-level assessments continued to change every few years, with JCPS adopting inquiry-based learning, knowing new state standards were on the horizon, it was clear that teachers needed more support.
How do we get teachers to really get the professional development or the questions answered, even to that degree, on a daily basis? And as we talked, I said, well, what we really need is that we need staff developers.
Inquiry science is not an easy thing for teachers. It's probably much easier for kids, if you will, than teachers, because teachers must be extremely organized. They have to be plan about materials and do a lot of preparation before a lesson and after a lesson to get it ready and then to break it down and clean it up. And so those staff developers were able to help individual teachers who were struggling with that, and sometimes that can get in the way of good instruction and therefore high achievement for students.
The $24 million GE Foundation Developing Futures grant was just ending, and JCPS was looking to build a long-term structure to support instruction. The GE Foundation provided an additional $10 million renewal grant for the new concept, a collaborative effort with the district and the Jefferson County Teachers Association.
Jefferson County had one of the best, if not the best, coaching model that was out there. And it was something that we did an enormous amount of research on, and we couldn't quite find the solid research that said here's the best coaching model to be used. But we found that recipe that could work in Jefferson County.
It's a recipe that allows Roby to focus on the most important part of her job, our kids.
And she's made us very focused on, what are the kids getting? How can we help them get this? Whereas all the attention is directly on the kids with that.
I feel they've been completely instrumental in the change of some of the structures we have in our district and our movement towards the higher levels of achievement in Kentucky.
Westport Middle has been doing some exciting work with science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM learning. Recently, students engaged in a special space engineering boot camp, thanks to the folks at the University of Louisville's Roush Planetarium.
For our first game, our first activity, we're going to put you in 2 different groups.
We are at Westport Middle School, and we are in an after-school program.
You're going to come up with as many space-related words as possible.
We're spelling galaxy.
Oh, y'all do have it, okay.
This is the Space and Engineering Boot Camp. We learn about space, we do all kinds of fun projects.
We're basically exploring space and the facets that go along with it.
We built a soda car. We started making prototype rockets, and we started doing this.
Today, we have went ahead and built a self-sustaining ecosystem in outer space. They've been basically designing their own city on Mars.
If something were to happen on Earth, we are designing like a backup place we could go to.
We need to make how to find an area how to survive on Mars, because there's not really much things that's different in Mars. They have less material than we have in Earth. So we have to figure out how we're going to survive.
Food, fuel, a toilet, hair products and makeup, I guess. I thought that it would be fun and maybe it'll help me learn more about science and all that.
They will build the ice cream.
They were probably not necessarily all aware of the atmospheric conditions or, of Mars, and so they were exploring with combining and making their own ecosystem or self-sufficient system.
What is it made of?
And then having to take that, and then they can make their own spin and make it their own design. They could do it in any fashion they want, so they can be creative and apply those science concepts to see what they could come up with.
Once they start getting a holding cell set up, then we'll launch the food and supply ship.
In this enclosed system, it's a lot like your spaceships that you created. You have to make sure you have food, energy, ways to get rid of waste, ways to get energy in. This is going to be the same way. It's going to be your own enclosed ecosystem.
We're a partnership school with U of L here at Westport. Because of us being a partnership school over the last few years, many of our teachers have went ahead and used funds for attaining national boards. They have classes here, and so because that's partnership grown and over the years, we continue now doing things like this for our school and students.
All of us here have probably had a dream of going to space. It's a pretty amazing subject to study and learn about, so we're here to learn how to become astronauts or how to learn space and become people who work with NASA or something like that.
It basically tells us about anything that's in science, but expands the knowledge of the science. More advanced than just a regular science class.
Sure, some kids may like sports, but they would like the science behind that sport, or they would like the intrigue or the storyline behind whatever it may be. It's just their interest, and that's what's keyed in. That's what's exciting. So to see them explore their interest.
Teens driving for the first time have a lot to learn about the rules of the road and the physics of motion. Well, now there's an app for that, thanks to a team from Meyzeek Middle School that received the Best in Nation title in the Verizon Innovative App Challenge.
So we are about to announce a surprise to the students on our app development team. They entered a contest called the Verizon Innovative App Challenge, and they are going to learn today that their app is being named Best in Nation.
Hello, Meyzeek! Today we are here to celebrate Meyzeek Middle School as one of the 8 Best in Nation winners. Congratulations.
Anjali Chada.
For me personally, I'm really interested in math and science especially, and I think that developing an app has really helped me get interested in technology as well, and I think it's important to build foundations earlier so that once you get into high school and college, you're on the right track.
Aditya Mehta.
So usually teenagers are more distracted while driving, so we thought that this app would help them realize the dangers of that, and so as well it has a function that disables the call and text, so they won't be as distracted, so it'll promote even more safety.
Jacob Ayoff.
The guidelines to make the app is we needed to have a STEM idea for the app, so STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So we had to include technology in it.
Mark Raj.
So just for this portion of the competition, we just developed mock-ups. So we used a template, and so we had a picture of a Samsung phone, and then we added in different shapes and text boxes, and we created mock-ups for it using PowerPoint and the template.
And Allison, 2.
It was a lot of work, but our app is called Log and Learn, and basically it helps young drivers get through the graduated licensing program process, which helps them get their license.
Education is a very, very important piece to our company and the foundation dollars that the Verizon gives out each and every year. So when you see them and the excitement, there's no words to express how excited I am. And I was just saying how articulate they are and how appreciative they are, and that means a whole lot. Yeah.
Many of our kids choose to serve their country in the military after graduation. Well, imagine being forced to become a fighter as a child just to stay alive. A best-selling author visited Ballard High School to tell his story as a child soldier. Correspondent James Scharff explains.
It's not every day that a high school library packed with students is silent. That's because of the guest speaker whose teen years are worth hearing.
The point that I wanted to make, particularly for me, the writing came about through a series of frustrations, through a series of ways to explain to people who I was and where I was coming from.
Ishmael Beah was just 13 and living in Sierra Leone when he was forced by his government to be a soldier. He eventually was rescued and arrived in the United States. The details of his life became a memoir called A Long Way Gone. The book was read by students in English teacher Nikki Fisher's class.
I hope they take away from this book and this experience that there's a whole world out there, and there are a lot of people experiencing things that are very different than what we experience here in America. And I hope that through this book they're able to learn more about the world around them and how they can make a difference in that world.
If you give somebody an opportunity, real opportunity, not just a pretense of it, they will rise to the occasion.
And pretty much what I took away from it was that anything's possible, and his inspirational speaking of how he overcame what he dealt with and just decided to never give up.
The one thing that stood out to me when he talked today was his explanation on how he got over drugs and the whole issue with just trying to move on and be strong about what he's been through and how he did it and how he overcame the things that he went through.
You live in this world, you have an obligation to know what's going on, and with that information to choose what you can do about it.
Ishmael Beah is now in his 30s. He hopes his book enlightens students to life in other parts of the world. I'm Ballard correspondent James Scharff for Our Kids.
We have a lot more stories about our kids coming up. Stay with us.
Do you need help providing school clothes for your child? The 15th District PTA Clothing Assistance Program can help provide uniforms and other clothing. Make an appointment with the Family Youth Resource Center at your child's school. Donations of new and gently used uniforms and clothing are also accepted. Call 485-7062 or 485-7450 for more information.
Both my parents have diabetes. Students really think that they are sort of invincible right now, and it's something that they'll think about in the future. I think that it's the actions and the decisions that we make right now that will really help us in the future, and that will determine whether we get diabetes or not. Hey kids, get out there, live a great life, but at the same time get to know the risk factors for diabetes and live a healthy lifestyle.
Welcome back. You're watching Our Kids, sponsored by the Jefferson County Public Schools. Reading is the foundation for learning and success for our kids. Staff members at Frayser Elementary got a little creative in sharing their love of reading for the annual I Love to Read Day.
It's a rainbow fish and everyone makes fun of his sparkles.
I am the truffle tree from the lore office.
We are sneakers on the beaches. Good morning, boys and girls!
This is Frayser Elementary, and this is our 11th annual I Love to Read Day.
I am Principal Love from the last book Dr. Seuss ever wrote.
I Love to Read Day is a day where readers come
from all sorts of places and come to our school and read to us
lots of books that we like.
The teachers came to me about 10 years ago and said, let's dress up as our favorite character. They wanted to dress up as the characters and bring reading to life. And that's what started the parade of characters. From the book, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, Miss Gibson, Miss Birch, Miss Jones, and Miss White. We're trying to get across to our students that they can enjoy reading, that reading is not only for test scores, but for enjoyment, period.
A long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish, not just an ordinary fish.
The volunteers to come in and read will read a book of their choice to the students, and then they talk about how reading is part of their career.
Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win?
They take time out of their busy schedule to come and read to us.
I don't know why she swallowed the rose, but that's how it goes.
We had Buddy Back come in today. I'll have Judge Shake come in today. The zoo, nurses. So we have a wide range of careers.
Somebody read us a book. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shining scale left.
It was about a girl having a lot of feelings, and the rainbow fish gave all of his scales away.
Come on, rainbow fish, they called. Come and play with us. Here I come, said rainbow fish.
We're hoping that it will stress to the children how much fun reading can be.
Thank you all so much.
We get better at it, and we get more education.
My favorite thing about reading is it gives me pictures in my mind, and I love how it does that.
It takes you places you'll never know you can go to.
We're Frayser Elementary and we love to read.
Spanish students at PRP have found an artistic way to help raise funds for students in Nicaragua with the Pulsera Project. Correspondent Abby Anderson brings us the story.
Recently here at Pleasure Ridge Park High School, a Spanish class engaged in a nonprofit organization called the Pulsera Project. This service provides for the Nicaraguan youth through the sale of their colorful handmade bracelets. The project not only brought cultural knowledge to the school, but has allowed the students to participate in a fun international service.
During Spanish class, we really tried to connect all of our lessons and units to our culture, especially Hispanic culture, because we really find a lot of value in our students learning about the world and what's going on in the world. This latest unit was on street kids and the daily life of street kids and how they live. My kids were blown away when they learned that over 200 million kids live on the streets. So we went on Facebook and a friend showed us this link called the Pulsera Project. It's a nonprofit organization that's located in Nicaragua, which helps about 30 street kids get off the streets by making these bracelets, which is what pulsera means. So they make these bracelets and they sell them. Schools can sign up for this nonprofit organization and they send you all of these bracelets and you can sell them. One of the coolest parts about it is that there's a picture with the person's face and their signature on it, so you can see who made your bracelet.
I feel like it's just kind of opened up your perspective to like what those kinds of people actually deal with.
This project, it teaches you a lot about the different cultures and like how they actually live and like what it's really like to live in Nicaragua.
So we're really excited. The sales start next week. They made all the ads themselves. They made the announcements on their own. They're buying them, they're selling them, and they're really taking what they're learning in the classroom and doing something about it.
The sales were a huge success and PRP raised $2,105 to go towards the organization. One school at a time, the Pulsera Project is working to color the world. I'm PRP correspondent Abby Anderson reporting for Our Kids.
Today's students crave technology, so much so it's really transforming JCPS classrooms. Correspondent Anissa Coulter shows us some of our kids' favorite apps.
Technology advances every day. High school students in JCPS keep up with these advancements by exploring different apps. With these new apps, students can interact with each other, express their interest, stay up to date with the world around them, and even monitor their health. JCPS high school students find that they can express themselves through Tumblr and Instagram.
I'd say it's somewhat educational, as you can find out about a lot about the world and you know, things that you're interested in.
And so then I can look on my Fitbit app and it will say how many miles I've walked in the day and along with how many calories I've burned.
Some students use apps to express themselves or track their everyday health.
Pandora is my favorite app because it allows me to listen to music and I don't have to listen to the same music over.
Some people don't think phones and education go hand in hand, but JCPS student Cole Dodd shows how his favorite app expands his knowledge every day.
My favorite app is Trivia Crack. The app is very educational. It has science in it, geography, art.
There's an ongoing battle concerning whether or not smartphones should be allowed in the classroom. But there is no doubt that JCPS students are using apps that educate themselves. For Our Kids, I'm Fern Creek correspondent Anissa Coulter.
Don't go away. We've got a lot more stories about Our Kids coming up.
The portal is your online link to information about your child's grades, test scores, attendance, career choices, and much, much more. It's a fast and easy way to stay on top of what your child is doing in school. If your child's teacher has set up a virtual classroom, you can log on to JCPS Online and access grades for class assignments or communicate directly with teachers. The Parent Portal offers a convenient way you can stay involved in your child's education. Do you need help providing school clothes for your child? The 15th District PTA Clothing Assistance Program can help provide uniforms and other clothing. Make an appointment with the Family Youth Resource Center at your child's school. Donations of new and gently used uniforms and clothing are also accepted. Call 485-7062 or 485-7450 for more information.
Welcome back. You're watching Our Kids, sponsored by the Jefferson County Public Schools. Many of us know the story of Anne Frank, but few know the amazing tale of Fred Gross and his family's escape from the Nazis in World War II. Western Middle students heard the first-hand account of Gross's journey during a recent visit.
I know that you are special students here who are studying various aspects of the Holocaust.
Today we have a special guest here, Fred Gross, who is a survivor of the Holocaust and author of a book that he's going to introduce to the students and tell his story as a living survivor and witness of those events.
And all we took was a couple of suitcases, left everything behind.
The concept of something happening 75 years ago to your average middle school student, it's in the past, it's so far back, but if you have somebody come in the room and bring their story in the room and really open up to kids about themselves and their lives, students respond to that, and they respond in a way that it matters, that it means something to them.
I learned about his experience, how he felt, and how it made him feel, and how young he was, and how he had to go through it.
We stayed there from October of 1940 to August of 1942. That place was a safe haven for tens of thousands of Jews.
I learned that no matter what you go through, there will always be someone there to help you, and you should be there to help someone else.
The only thing that we took was my bicycle. I wanted my bicycle.
His experience through the whole Holocaust and his escape plan and how other people helped him survive. And if it wasn't for them other people and their courage, then he wouldn't be here today.
Here is a document that shows the names of refugees who fled into Switzerland. So here is my name, Freddie, my brother Leon, my father Marcus, and my mom, Nasha Gross.
We'll be writing 3 stories. One's informational and stuff, and how, what we learned through this experience.
I wouldn't be here today without the courage of people who helped us out. It took a lot of guts They risked their lives to save a Jewish family. And there may come a point in your life where you may have to stand up and be counted. If you are there, watching people being bullied, watching injustices, and if you are just standing there, you are taking part.
Communication is key, no matter what field of study you choose. Students at McFerrin Preparatory Academy are honing their communication skills every day on their morning broadcast. Chloe Katlynne gives us a first-hand look.
Today we have Armani and Jaden to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Teachers and students, please stand for the pledge.
Students in the broadcasting program at McFerrin Preparatory Academy actively participate in hands-on curriculum enhanced by the latest technology. WB Morning News, which is entirely ran by 5th graders, airs every morning from 8:50 to 9 o'clock.
Well, I do announcer one, which basically, the show starts off with me, and I tell the weather, and like the 2 students that come here, I say the name and they do the pledge and or the oath.
Our news station is called WMPA Morning News, so my job today was to work camera 2. Camera 2 would mostly focus on Deja because she's announcer 2, so the switchboard switches from camera 1 to camera 2.
I'm announcer 2, and I say birthdays, important announcements for our school, and I do words of wisdom.
My job for this week is switchboard, so I really like that job because it's like you kind of control the cameras, but not really. So it's like I get to make different designs and colors when the cameras switch to the next announcer. And I really like this program because it's like I can meet new friends and I get to hang out with my old friends. And plus it's like helping me do stuff that I could probably do in the future.
JCPS is not only preparing students for college, but is also preparing them for future careers. For Our Kids, I'm Fern Creek correspondent Chloe Katlynne.
In Our Kids news, we'd like to congratulate our latest Excel Award-winning teacher, Aggie Adwell at Lure Elementary.
Thanks for all you do for public education. You are an Excel Award winner.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for today. We hope you've enjoyed it. You can find full episodes of Our Kids on the JCPS YouTube channel. We leave you now with the sounds of the Valley High School Orchestra. Until next time, keep supporting our kids.